The Game Awards is just another event where elites of an industry go to pat themselves on their backs for the last 12 months of hard work and effort they've put into their products, but Corpo man Jeff Keighley is getting raked across the coals right now because we have found out that it cost over $1 million to buy a 3-minute trailer at the Game Awards, and that small indie teams have to buy their own tickets so they can go to potentially receive awards. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community and my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, we've always known that these award shows are not for the people, by the people. They don't actually care about celebrating video games anymore. It's like the Super Bowl. It's just a way for companies to get more eyes on their products and ultimately for these shows to make a bunch of money. I mean, if you look at the viewership, last year, the Game Awards got more live viewers than even the Super Bowl did. Really goes to show how big the video game industry is and how impactful having a slot at a show like this can be for your product. But ultimately, we are talking about them overcharging, and this is one of the things that killed E3, though it looks like the Game Awards is following in their footsteps because it's now being reported that it cost over $1 million to buy a 3-minute trailer at the Game Awards, and that some of the devs that were even nominated can't afford to be part of the Game Awards because in some cases they only got like 1 or 2 tickets so that somebody from the team can show up, but otherwise they had to buy more tickets for their team members to actually go. Now, this is an article written by Alyssa Mercante over at Kotaku, which I think is rich. I thought she apparently got fired from Kotaku. And of course, this article starts off talking about politics because it's the only thing Alyssa Mercante knows, because she doesn't actually know anything about the history of the gaming industry or video games, modern or retro. She just kind of sits here and yaps about politics. But it says it's 2012, Barack Obama's president. Gamers are melting down over the ending of Mass Effect 3. Harvey Smith and Rafael Colantino, then at Dishonored developer Arcane Studios, are flying on a Bethesda-chartered private jet to Los Angeles for the Spike Video Game Awards, hosted by Samuel L. Jackson and held at Sony Picture Studios. They go on to say that apparently now things are a little different because Donald Trump is president. Gamers are melting down over whether or not Lara Croft is hot enough for them. Arcane Austin doesn't even exist anymore. And the Game Awards streams online as cable TV is dismantled and sold for parts. Oh, boo-hoo, cry me a river and float upstream. Hollywood backed themselves into this corner, and they are the reasons why they are completely irrelevant now compared to the video game industry. But let's actually just get into the meat and potatoes of things. Apparently, the prices over the years have gone up quite a lot. According to 2 sources familiar with this year's show, a 60-second trailer during the 2025 ceremony can cost up to $450,000, and a 3-minute trailer costs over $1 million. 2 separate sources in the video game publishing world said that while they had not been briefed on this year's rates, these sounded in line with what they'd expect from previous years, which sounds absolutely insane. Okay, I understand that they cannot just have slots for free for everybody that wants to highlight their product. There's not enough time in the world for a show that could be 8 or 10 or 12 hours long. Nobody would watch it at that point. So they do have to charge something. But charging $1 million for 3 minutes is absolutely mind-blowing. And of course, companies would pay for it. The committees that are a part of the Game Awards, and part of the Game Awards is actually hosted and really just sponsored by these large companies. Every major company has somebody that is on this board, so I'm sure that they might even get a slightly more discounted rate. But regardless, we are talking about this being an industry shill show so that these companies can continue to shill their products. Sure, part of the excitement about the Game Awards for some people is that, oh, your favorite game might win an award, but 90% of the votes are critic and really just shill, and only 10% are gamers, so it's not even a fair 50-50, and it's the rigged awards. This is why we should never take these award shows seriously, and this right here is a big reason why I can't take them seriously. Charging $1 million for a 3-minute trailer is wild, and yeah, there are companies that are going to pay for it because you are being handed really a big opportunity, but it's pricing out people in the industry that would love to participate, like indies, for example, and double A's, for example. We just had found out that Clair Obscur Expedition 33's budget was less than $10 million. Do you think that they could have afforded this year to show just a big thank you video? Probably not, unless you had the Game Awards offering them maybe a free 60-second or up to 3-minute slot. And sometimes that does happen in very rare instances. We've heard that they've given out some slots for free, but most of the time that isn't the case. And there's another problem with seats because there are apparently development studios that were offered a minimal amount of tickets to the point where they had to pay for tickets for their cast members themselves because some nominated devs can't even afford to be a part of the Game Awards. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 bought a swath of tickets at face value, around $300 each, to ensure more of the team could attend. And I know that you can't do this for everybody, but I think for the developers that are nominated for Game of the Year, they should be given at least maybe 10 tickets or like 15 tickets, depending on the size of the studio. I know if like Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out one day, they can't invite, the 1,000 people that work on that game, but you should be able to at least offer to indie teams or the Game Award teams some kind of significant number, but that wouldn't make them as much money. And the fact that you have this legendary game that everybody's talking about, and they had to go out of their way to buy these tickets is infuriating when you also think about the fact that not only is this a small team, and they probably don't have millions and millions and millions of dollars to just throw away, but that's just for the ticket. Never mind paying to get people over to the United States and paying for traveling costs and hotel rooms and all of these different things that you would need to travel like that. And they're getting wrecked for this, and rightfully so. The Game Awards has never been about the gamers or celebrating games. It is just a massive shill show at this point, and this is why nobody likes the Dorito Pope. If you want to know why he gets so emotional for world premieres, it's because of the money he knows he is making. People putting puking faces, shooting my shot, really looking forward to the show. I have $30. Can I get my trailer in the last minute? Best. Jeff running away with the bag. Insane, almost Super Bowl levels of pricing. Now, the Super Bowl still charges quite a lot more, but either way, we're still talking about an insane amount of money, and technically the Game Awards does get more viewers. Is this becoming the Super Bowl? Best I can afford is 1.8 milliseconds. That prices indie games out of the Game Award shows. Corpo slot pays well, sadly. Gosh, I hope there's a lot of celebrities who don't actually play games hanging around. Yeah, it's really ridiculous. And another interesting thing is they do offer press and media passes, but yet the media can't actually record at the event or highlight the event, so what's the point to even give out those passes at that point? Who exactly believes those guys anymore? That's insane. Remember E3? Jeff's gotta make that scratch. Phil Spencer laughing. What the hell? Bruh, are we dead ass? That smug cunt doesn't deserve anything that he has. And yeah, this is a big reason why Jeff Keighley is the one running and hosting all of these award shows at this point, because he is a safe shill option. He's not edgy, he's not funny, he doesn't actually have a brain and think for himself. He does what his corpo overlords say, and the second he steps out of line, he wouldn't be making that cash anymore. So I'll definitely be following this very closely. I will be streaming the Game Awards as I do every single year. I try to stream all of the award shows and all of the big events, so make sure to check out my stream tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern. But for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.